Prince Michael of Greece and Denmark, first cousin to the Duke of Edinburgh and second uncle to Queen Sophia, died this weekend at the age of 85 at a hospital in Athens, where he will be buried. Prince Michael was the last surviving grandson of King George I of Greece. On his mother's side, he also descended from the House of Bourbon. However, Michael chose to become known for more than just being a member of the Greek royal family. In 1965, he gave up his inheritance rights to marry the love of his life, Marina Carella, a painter and sculptor, and became a prestigious historian under the name Michel de Graise. The couple had two daughters, Princess Olga of Savoy-Aosta and Princess Alexandra of Greece. Michael was born in 1939 in Rome. He was the only son of Prince Christopher of Greece, the younger brother of his father the Duke of Edinburgh, and his second wife, Princess Francisca of Orleans. His father died at the age of 51 in 1940, when he was only 1 year old, and his mother died in 1953, leaving the prince orphaned at the age of 14 and in the care of his uncle Henry of Orleans, Count of Paris. Michael is related to the British, Danish, French, Spanish and Romanian royal families. During World War II, the prince lived in Morocco, Malaga, Spain and finally Paris before returning to Greece, where he became a great support to the royal family, Prince Paul, Queen Frederica and their 3 children, Prince Constantina, Sophia and Irene. Michael also took part in a cruise organized by Queen Frederica in 1954 to bring together young European royal heirs. Michael decided to study political science in Paris. He then did his military service in Greece, in the Greek Coast Guard. He was the only member of the Greek royal family left in the country in 1967, when a coup occurred and King Constantine, his nephew, was forced to leave the country with his family. However, Michael gave up his claim to the Greek throne to marry the famous artist Marina Carella in 1965, as it was a marriage to a commoner. It was his romance with painter and sculptor Marina Carella that made him so popular among his countrymen. The couple met in Amman at a party at a mutual friend's house, and the prince was immediately charmed by the young artist, the daughter of Finzin's industrialist Theodoros Arsan. She had studied fine art in Greece and Paris, which brought them especially close since Michael's mother was French, and he himself had been educated on French soil. It was love at first sight. I found her charming, she was very kind to me, and meeting her was like a revelation, the prince recalled in his memoirs. They became engaged a few weeks later, but it took 2 years before Michael received the royal family's permission and gave up his claim to the Greek throne to marry a girl without royal blood. Michael always claimed that this renunciation gave him a great sense of freedom and allowed him to choose his own life. The wedding took place on February 7, 1965 at the Royal Palace in Athens, and was a big event attended by members of the Greek royal family and the Countess of Paris, his grandmother. The couple settled in New York for more than a decade, and then in Paris before returning to Greece. The prince became a celebrated novelist, biographer and historian specializing in ancient Greece, the Ottoman Empire and European royal families. He traveled extensively and had a passion for photography. The prince and his wife settled on the island of Patmos in Greece. What does it mean to be a prince, he wondered in a recent interview. It's to be like everyone else, but also to be considered someone special. I respect the past, but I think royalty is not interesting, that it's a relic. In 2023, he published an illustrated autobiography, in which he revealed all the details of a legendary past that he said no longer existed. He dedicated many novels to his ancestors, such as The Last Kings, The Farewell Empress and The Regent. The passing of Prince Michael of Greece and Denmark marks the end of an era and is a poignant reminder of the tangled tapestry of European royal history. His life, filled with both privilege and the opposite, highlights the evolving nature of royalty in the modern world. Unlike many of his contemporaries, Michael chose to move away from the traditional roles and responsibilities expected of a man of his lineage. His decision to give up his claim to the Greek throne for love says much about his character and the changing values of the time. In an age when the relevance of the monarchy is often questioned, Michael's life serves as a testament that true nobility is not limited to titles and crowns. And his intellectual pursuits and contributions to history and literature show a man deeply engaged with the world around him, reaching far beyond the gilded walls of palaces. He found a sense of freedom and fulfillment in forging his own path, which resonates with many in today's society who seek to define their own identity outside of inherited expectations. Michael's reflection that royalty is a relic of the past makes one wonder about the future of monarchies. As society develops and the concept of leadership evolves, it is becoming increasingly clear that the enduring legacy of royalty may lie not in their titles, but in their personal choices and contributions to culture and knowledge. Michael's life story, saturated with love, intellectual curiosity, and a deep sense of individuality, offers a narrative that transcends the traditional boundaries of royalty. In the last years of his life, Michael dedicated himself to preserving history through his writings, so that the stories of his ancestors and the lessons of the past would not be forgotten. His works such as The Last Kings and The Empress's Farewell provide invaluable insight into the complexities of royal life and the historical context in which these figures lived. In documenting these stories, Michael has left an indelible mark on the literary and historical landscape, ensuring that future generations can learn and reflect on the past. As we say goodbye to Prince Michael, we are reminded that the true measure of a man's life is the legacy he leaves behind. His journey from a young prince to a respected historian and writer is an example of a life well lived through change, love, and intellectual pursuit. As we celebrate his life, we also celebrate the resilience of the human spirit that seeks meaning and purpose beyond tradition and expectation. Today we bid farewell to a remarkable man whose life was full of both royal greatness and personal achievement. Prince Michael of Greece and Denmark, the last grandson of King George I of Greece, passed away at the age of 85. His death marks the end of an entire era in the history of European royal families. Prince Michael, or as he was known to many, Michel de Grèce, was more than just a member of the royal family. He was a man who chose love and freedom, giving up his rights to the throne for marriage to artist Marina Carella. This step, seemingly contrary to tradition, showed his deep humanity and desire for personal happiness. His life was filled not only with royal duties but also with significant intellectual achievements. As a historian and writer, he left us a rich legacy of his writings on the history of ancient Greece, the Ottoman Empire, and European royal families. His books, such as The Last Kings and The Farewell Empress, will long inspire and enlighten future generations. Prince Michael lived with the conviction that true nobility lies not in title, but in deeds and personal achievement. His life is a story of love, freedom, and the pursuit of knowledge. He showed us that even in a world of royal dynasties, it is possible to find your own way and stay true to yourself. Today we remember not only a prince, but a man who left a deep mark on history and in the hearts of those who knew him. May his legacy continue to live on in our hearts and minds, inspiring us to do great things. Thank you for being with us. Subscribe to our channel so you don't miss new videos, and share your thoughts in the comments. See you all again, and may the memory of Prince Michael of Greece and Denmark live on forever.